Okay, we're giving this another try. And we're just taking a nice, easy walk this morning. Perhaps we will see some birds. There's often ducks and geese and babies here. There's lots of wild roses here. And I'll just show you that we're on Painted Turtle Trail. And there's the Syilx word for it. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, admittedly. I should look it up. So this trail is fairly like stroller friendly, fairly mobility friendly. It's paved here, but soon we'll leave the paved part. But it's still quite flat. Don't know how my camera's gonna handle how bright it's gonna get, but we'll see. I hear birds. Okay, well, first of all, we've got lots and lots of ducks. We'll say hi to them on the way over there. But I don't see any babies. No babies yet. Or not around here anyway. So lots of people fish. Hopefully the camera won't be too shaky. The gimbal seems pretty good, but I'm walking on a floating dock, so it does move around a little. I'm gonna try and pan more slowly because I know from using the gimbal on the weekend that I pan too quickly and it gets a bit blurry. So hopefully this will be okay. And there's a whole bunch, there's a squeaky duck. There's a whole bunch of ducks. Good morning, ducks. Doing their duck things, but yeah, I'm surprised there's no babies yet. I'll have to check my photos from last year because I got quite a few good baby pictures of geese and ducks. And so then I'll know when the babies were out and about last year. I know it can be a bit different by weeks or however long. Okay, let's go see these ducks. Ah, the grass is wet and squeaky. Good morning, ducks. I brought my camera. I mean, this is my phone I'm using to film. But I brought my camera in case there were babies. But I guess not yet. But look, I love the weeping willow trees here. And this is one of those paths that when we come at 6 a.m. like we did today, we occasionally see, well, there's a couple that we see fairly frequently that walk around the trail. I think they do it every morning. And then there's another couple that we see occasionally. We're more occasionally too because we like to check out different trails. So oh, we got people. I'm gonna look off to the side. Good morning.
Good morning. You're up bright and early.
As always. Okay, and this trail is the Eagle Trail. So there's the Syilx word for that. And there's the dock we were just walking on. And for those who played along last year, right across there in the center of the frame is where Old Man Jenkins' house used to be. And you can see they alternate the trail signs in English. We like this trail because it's really close to our house. The one thing I wish was the case was that you could actually loop the lake, but there's a golf course on the other side, and so you have to come back the same path as you go down. And you can see, possibly across the way here, there's all that kind of green lawn space, and that's because it's golf course space. So I'm not sure if the camera will show it, but I think it's the golf clubhouse across the way. I don't know, I don't golf. Oh yeah, and there's also pretty flowers here. Got some pretty yellow flowers. And then some nice white flowers too. And then growing down the hillside, lots more pink wild roses. Oh, there's people. Good morning. It is. Okay, so some people go down this little trail. It just goes right down to the lake. And people come here in the morning and fish. Sometimes they fish off the dock, or they take out, boats, but sometimes they just go down to the lakeshore and fish. Oh, I gotta watch camera directions again. Wow. And there's another little trail. Again, people just make trails down to the lake for fishing. I admit I don't know the answer, but I sort of assume they must have to restock this lake. I don't know. I'm making stuff up. No, I'm just guessing. Now, we haven't had a lot of rain, so, well, this isn't going to look like anything, but what I will say is it's all along this trail where the Snail's superhighway runs after a rain. So I'm always kind of looking out for snails and slugs and stuff, because I like to take their picture, but also sometimes they wander out on the trail and I don't want to step on them. So I don't know if it's really the right or the wrong thing, but sometimes I gently pick up the snails and put them on the side of the trail. Because sometimes we see people have accidentally walked or run over them. And I know it's one thing that we shouldn't interfere with nature, but I kind of feel like if people are stepping on the snails, it's more people interfering, and then I'm interfering to move them, so it's a vicious cycle. But I don't see any snails today. Not on the trail, not beside the trail. They like to hide when it's not rainy. But I did read over the winter, because I became so interested in the snail superhighway last year. I read that snails can hibernate for up to 3 years. So I mean, we make jokes about like, oh, hibernate like a bear. I mean, bears got nothing on snail hibernation, apparently. Bears getting all the glory. This is an area where I can sometimes get good bird pictures, sometimes not. I don't know if my camera will pick up this one. But there's a little bird hopping around right here. I can hear mourning doves and crows too. Well, sometimes they hang out in the trees along the left side of the fence here. But where we're walking, this is actually houses up on the top of the ridge, and most of those houses, and I don't blame them one bit, have lots of nice bird feeders. And so the birds really like to hang out there. And they don't always let me take their picture. Maybe if I'm quiet. Oh, look! This is a trail that we saw and left. So many painted rocks last year, and someone started again. This one's beautiful, a shooting star. Oh. Okay, that one's from my friend Starblazer. I hope she watches this. Maybe if I'm quiet, you'll actually hear the birds for a moment. There's another rock, clearly painted by the same person. Beautiful mandala rock. That's so pretty. I love that people leave that kind of stuff here. Wonder if I should get back into rock painting. Last year, oh, hang on, I'm going to show you first that there's a lot of pretty flowers that grow along the hill here. Okay. So last year at this time, I was working in a different position with the college, and I had a lot of meetings, and during my meetings I could sometimes paint rocks, but also because, you know, we weren't all burnt out from Zoom just yet. You know, friends and family, we were having Zoom calls. And so I would paint rocks while I was on those. Okay, there's someone coming, so I'm gonna turn the camera. Good morning.
How's the photography going?
Good.
Good.
Okay. That was one of our usual peeps. That they walk this every single day, it seems. So you can see more of the golf course over there. You can hear all the crickets and the birds. And then this is the end of the trail. Oh. There's a little quail running around down there. But there's a fence because the golf course land, or maybe a bit of residential land, still begins on the other side of that trail. One thing I will say is this one tree here, that big one at the end with no leaves, is often really good for spotting larger birds. Kestrels, crows, even an eagle we've seen here, a bald eagle. So it's not the best birding spot. We often walk at Calamar, and that to me is a far superior birding spot. I mean, I shouldn't say that too loud, right? The birds are gonna take offense here. But honestly, if they weren't so rude, I would just let me take their picture, and I wouldn't talk like this about them. Okay, so we have to head back now. And we mostly go back the way we came, except when we go back, we don't cut across where the birds are at the water. We take the rest of the trail. So I think what I'll do is I'll end the video here, and then I'll start up again when we get back to the piece that we haven't walked during this video. So I'll see you soon. Okay, we're just about back, not quite, but almost back to where we cut off the lake when we saw the ducks. So this is where I always love the light coming through the trees. Reminds me somewhat of Vancouver Island. I don't know, trees and light always remind me of Vancouver Island apparently. But I miss it there. So you'll see, there's the little dock again. And some people have houses along the lake, and often the Canada geese hang out on this side with their babies when there are some. Hang on, I gotta remove this string from my wrist so I can switch hands. I had very numb right hand on the weekend. So I'm trying to switch hands. Hashtag neurological problems. Or just old people problems, but anyway. Looks like I didn't need to bring my heavy camera bag. You can hear some birds. So there are little side trails that cut off here, but they just go up to residential neighborhoods, so. But if you lived back here, it would be a nice way to get into the park. And then over here is where we came up before. Under the weeping willows. And there is a bunch of really tall grass just directly ahead there. And apparently it floods, but not every year. I don't know how frequently. But I do know this is meant to be a turtle habitat. There's a sign along one of the fences to say to please, respect their space. But I've only seen one turtle here before, and it wasn't alive, so I don't know if maybe the turtles only come here when it floods, or clearly I don't know about turtles. Making my strange guesses. Here's the lake again. So we saw both of the couples that one we see every time we come here and one we see sometimes. But those were the people that we saw today. And they're pretty much the only people that we ever see here, except that we sometimes see people fishing. But they're not usually near the trails, so makes this a really nice place to come because there's not a lot of people traffic if you come early in the morning. We have been here in the afternoon a couple of times, and it was much busier then, which is not a surprise. Even in the winter, families come and play. The lake freezes over and people play hockey and skate and ice fish. And while not exactly a beautiful sight, there are washrooms here if people need them, so that's nice.
Unfortunately, you guys don't get the full sense of the experience here. The aroma is, well,
Yeah, it's only bad right there though.
yeah. Yes, it's
Not really important. People again.
Okay.
Okay. That was our usual couple again that are here every day. They walk and back and forth on the trail. I don't know how many times they do it. I only can guess that they're trying to get in a certain number of steps or distance or something like that. But let's take a look at the lake again. There are babies! Oh, they're way too small to see on this camera. But there is a mama duck with a whole bunch of babies. So I know on the video, probably just looks like little dots in the water with rings around them. But that's a mama and her babies. So I'm really glad to see that. And some more wild roses, they're everywhere. I was reading an article, I'm gonna end the video here. I was reading an article that was talking about the importance of the wild roses thriving for other species. But, okay. So I'm gonna end the video because we're heading back to the parking lot now, and I hope you enjoyed the walk.